Good afternoon, Heavenly Awakening, Celestial Rising, and good night to the beautiful entity watching this video. It's your boy Divine Messenger, and we're back with another message. And understand, before we even get into this, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share if you enjoy these videos, because I know you do enjoy these videos. And honestly, before we get started with this whole video, because I was going to go harder, but like with breaking down the trauma, but it's just like, it's so traumatic. What's really the point? Because it's like, it just gets so deep to the point to where who wants to really go back and relive those moments? And the thing is too, I thought about like just staring into the camera, making you relive your traumatic experience to heal. But it's just like, either way it goes, I want you to use this video as a way for you to be able to see your traumatic experiences from whatever the Almighty is presenting to you through my voice. And the thing is, I just want to say before we get started into that though, I appreciate all the people that subscribe and that watch consistently, because at the end of the day, man, this is bigger than you and I for sure. And I really appreciate you for even watching, because you don't even have to do that, but the fact that you do that and people are consistently doing that, it's just like, I really appreciate that, which is why I continuously go hard for a lot of y'all, because no matter what, we will change society, and it starts with you and I for sure. And when it comes down to trauma, it's like, imagine eating like lemon pepper wings without the seasoning. Imagine eating fries that are baked, like cooked to like way too, like they were cooked for way too long. No ketchup, no mustard, no ranch, whatever people use on their french fries or whatever. No salt, no pepper, just none of that, right? It's like, what kind of meal is this, my nigga? So imagine Thanksgiving, no yams, no ham or turkey, whatever people eat, collard greens. Imagine just eating some shit, like some stuffing, and that's it. Imagine eating stuffing for Thanksgiving. Like, that's everybody's meal, is just stuffing. That's it? It's like, what the fuck is going on? So, now we gotta get into the program. For one, when it comes down to just deities in general, right? If we are in a spiritual warfare, we gotta understand that we were born, like you and I, we were born into whatever experience we were born in for a reason. Because it's like, whatever we were supposed to go through was meant to happen for us to be able to evolve into a higher perception of what we think we are supposed to be. Meaning that these deities, if we're marked when we're born and before death, they already know who we are through our parents, for one, obviously. Because if we have different programmers in a holographic simulation that we live in consistently, that means to me, spiritually, we have deities who know the game. They know what deity will be born into what. Why is that? Because the creator is living through these higher deities. So either way it goes, it's like you can't run from what divinity has in store for you and I. Because either way it goes, we still got to pay for it. And it's free. How do we pay for something that's free? So we pay for trauma because it's literally free into our life, because we're trying to find freedom into our life. But how can you find freedom when you're not even living within your life? Just ignore that pine cone dropping down from the trees. It is what it is. For our family, if our mom and dads do not know how to like awaken from the spiritual warfare, they're killing themselves, and they will kill you in the process. There are some people who have been through so much traumatic experiences to the point to where a lot of them end up blind, dead, abused so much physically, mentally, verbally, sexually, all of that, spiritually, to where their soul's not even in their body. So imagine looking at somebody in their eyes and you don't even see like beyond their retinas. You don't see beyond their pupils because they're just that dilated. You don't see, like, you can look into their eyes, their soul isn't even knocking on the door anymore. Their soul has like left a bit, like their soul was like, let me out, please, I need help, to the point to where the soul is like, you know what, what's the point? They can't hear me anyway, so I'm gonna stop knocking on the door. I'm just gonna walk away from that door, and that door will never open. So imagine this person now, it's like the ego is gone. So it's like, imagine if people watch Naruto. Oh my God, some people don't watch Naruto, but Naruto Shippuden, for example, when Pain and his other vessels that he was programming his thoughts into, one of them had long hair, and Shizune, if you don't know who I'm talking about, I'll have a picture on the screen or whatever if I do edit this. But Shizune, she got her soul or spirit snatched from her body. And all one of the Pains did was just grab her head and snatch the spirit out of her body. So That's what these beings are actually doing. And I reference that because you're like, why'd you reference anime? I reference that because even in anime, that's still spiritual warfare. It doesn't matter what you're watching. We are living in spiritual warfare. It doesn't matter what TV show you watch. It doesn't matter what movie you watch. No matter what game you play. You are living in trauma. So it's like playing Call of Duty. You are being traumatized through Call of Duty. Now, don't get me wrong. I grew up on Call of Duty. So I do appreciate that game because that helped me understand reality just differently. So I appreciate that game. But it's like, as you get older, you got to understand sometimes. So even with 2K, Madden, like shit, Elden Ring, Skyrim, whatever, however you pronounce that game. There's like UFC, there's many other games. But just games in general, you're playing yourself. You're playing yourself. So as you get older, you learn to understand that these games really don't bring you any type of substance, but a waste of your time. It's what is valuable to you. And that's okay. But it's like, you cannot fill up that void by playing the game all the time. Because you gotta understand that when you turn that game off, you have to realize that your trauma will still be like, I'm back. It's like, you have to be able to be like, you know what? Come on in, man. Let's go ahead and figure this shit out, man. So here's what we went through back in my past. And I gotta face these demons. But some people are scared to face their demons. So where it gets so bad to where now, if you don't figure out your parents' trauma, then how can you figure out your own trauma? And if you don't have any parents, how do you find your trauma? That's why it's like, people say, well, how do I do that? You have to go within and do shadow work within yourself. Because if you just meditate constantly, and don't forget, ask and you shall receive. But people don't want to ask the universe for what they want to receive. If you want to receive clarity on your trauma, why not just ask the universe or ask divine or divinity? May you please reveal my traumatic experiences from my past. I'm going to get some water real quick, or some Propel. But just ask the universe for that type of affirmation. Because whenever you're doing this, we got to understand too that the beings that do, because for one, we're all hybrids on top of that. So don't forget, you do have physical parents, but you also have spiritual parents that are actually watching you right now. Like, they're observing your reality. And on top of that, what's done in the dark will come to the light, literally and figuratively. Like, all these sayings are not said for no reason. Meaning, like, in the astrals, in the quantum realm, in the cosmic realm, in the star system, the Sirius star system realm, in different constellations, and different levels of layers of different realms of existence that you've never seen before. They are already doing what you thought they did not do. So that trauma that happened never happened, but it's happening to you for a reason, because you're allowing it to. Because really, when we're gone, did that trauma ever exist? No, because that trauma is a physical construct in our mind from societal norms and different families. So like in the black family, and some families, it's actually normal to get touched on or violated by your uncle or your aunt or your mom or your dad or your cousin or your brother or your sister. That shit is weird. And they make movies on that. And what do? As consumers, we go and pay for the movie because we are stuck in the past and we want to watch this in our current moment. So where now our future is way too far-fetched because we're not even worried about it no more. Man, that movie was so great. It just helped me learn about my trauma, but guess what? I still won't heal. That shit hurt too bad. I mean, it was a great movie though. It had some great points. I liked it, but I don't want to heal. There's some people like that who don't want to heal because how can you? Where do you start? Exactly. You don't just start. You just do it because you already started by doing it. And the thing is too, you understand, no matter how divine, no matter how intelligent you are, we all have trauma. We all have it, even including myself. So it's like, no matter what, we will be healing to the day we die. We will be traumatic. We will be traumatized to the day we die. So you have to pick and choose on what you want to deal with through your trauma, because there are some families out here who are not real people. If people understood sentient beings, nanobot beings, program bots, just program deities. If people understood deities and body snatchers and skinwalkers and leeches, energy vampires, quantum leapers that are leaping into your state of mind, people that are soul snatchers, snatching your soul from your body, transcending it or descending it into a different plane of existence where they're actually killing you within and they're stealing your body and now they're pretending to be you. Imagine somebody looks at you as a neuroscientist or a psychiatrist or whatever the case may be, or therapists too. Imagine that they look into your soul, they give you a hypnotism program to help you with your trauma, and they send your consciousness below your subconscious way of thinking. And then imagine they take over your body and enhance it through their enlightenment. And they're walking around acting like you. Come on, bro. Actually, imagine them walking around calling themselves mom or dad, or brother or sister. That's exactly why if you cannot look people within the eyes, you will not understand their trauma. Because understanding trauma is understanding demons that are literally traumatic or traumatized by their own demonic program. That's all this really is. A bunch of demons that are hurt and traumatized, they're projecting and they're grooming other people to make them feel how they felt and still feel to this day. So trauma comes from demons trying to season up reality for their amusement. That's why it's amusing to go through trauma. That's why there's people who are pedos and molesters and all that other shit, because they enjoy doing they enjoy doing what was bestowed upon them. And they will keep doing that shit till they get caught. And when they get caught, then they're sorry. But as they're doing it, they're not sorry, because why? Love is love to them. They see you as something that they can get over on, because they had to fill a void up. So it's like crack. Like doing all, like trauma is like crack. It's so addicting, we still pay for it. And it's free. We watch movies, we play the game, we gossip. Gossiping, a form of trauma. Seeing family members will get mad because you don't come to the cookout no more. Did you forget that Unc so-and-so or Aunt so-and-so or so-and-so, my cousin or whatever did this or that to me? I guess we forgot about that. And some family members will be like, man, that was in the past. I ain't trying to hear nothing. Like, it's just like, come to the family reunion. But there's some people who'll be like, no, because they can't forget what was done to them as a kid. And are they wrong for that? No, you're making a smart decision. Why is that? Because if they had not apologized for what they did and didn't do, that's fucked up on your part. Because for one, forgive, never forget, ever. And the thing is too, trauma gets so deep, it's like it goes beyond just physical, mental, spiritual, emotional, verbal, all of that. Don't let nobody place their trauma or project their trauma onto your way of living. Because if you let anybody talk down about themselves onto you or spread their trauma onto you, that will leave you traumatized. Not only that, you'll be digesting their traumatic ways, and then your traumatic ways will procreate with your traumatic ways, coexisting together, and now your trauma just became bigger and bigger than what it needed to be, because you allowed their traumatic experiences to experiment on themselves onto you in your life. And you're allowing the experimenter that projected on you, you're allowing them to take hold of your life, and they have no hold of their own life. So they're lost just like you. Don't let trauma kill you before you're dead. Don't let trauma kill you before you're actually alive. Don't let trauma be the cause of your way of living. Overcome your trauma. And that's hard to say. Forgive what people did to you. Forgive what you did to yourself, because your ego was just projecting to you on what it learned. Our subconscious mind's a baby. We have to forgive our baby ass mind, and we have to grow up and start to love ourselves once again. Once you relearn all the things that you were taught, and you teach yourself again from day one, you begin to understand that you are the trauma, traumatizing yourself subconsciously. I love you. Have a great day, God and Goddess.